My mission is to encourage my brothers and wake up the African peoples to unify our continent, Africa.
But I want to be clear. I know some of us love our children, but some of our children are so far gone that we're going to have to put some of them to sleep in order to take back the neighborhood. Some of y'all don't want to hear that because you don't live in reality. But I'm telling you, as a psychologist, I'm not going to be able to psychologize all of them on the corner. Shut them sleep. Fuck God!
This is episode 100 of the Rhythm and Rhymes podcast. I'm your host, AJ Hughes. I'm here with my co-host, Tonio Hughes. How you feeling, bro? We'll get into the episode 100 stuff later, but how you feeling?
Pretty good. Work has me tired, bro, but I'm still looking for the full-time thing. So
That's
just
good.
trying to get that along too. But
it's crazy out here. Like everybody's like struggling with work or changing jobs or having trouble with their career and stuff like that. Like I just got off the phone with Colt, but I had a talk with Josh earlier today about that thing we're working on. And I was telling him about like how I'm struggling to get clients and nobody's really responding and stuff like that. And we got into a talk about essentially interacting with the Black community, right? And I was telling him how all the clients I was reaching out to were primarily like Black businesses and stuff like that. And he said, he echoed a sentiment that Dad used to say all the time, where it's like doing business with Black people may not be the move. You might not want to go that way. He was a little bit more harsh. Josh, he said it in a different way. I'm watering it down, but he definitely opened my mind by essentially saying this opportunity that I'm giving you with this thing that we're working on. If I was somebody else Black and not your cousin, do you think you would have had the same opportunity or you would have got the same opportunity? And I had to think about it. And the answer was honestly no. I don't think anybody Black in the same position would have given me that position or given me the opportunity. And it got me to thinking about everything I've been working on, this too specifically. And I guess how just Black people respond to Black people, how the community works. And I guess the question I wanted to ask with you is, it's music related because you could focus in on music, but it's like a vision of Pan-Africanism. Is it too idealistic? Are we as Black people in America, Black people globally, do you think we're too divided to see a more like connected diaspora? And I guess we can start with music and then we could take it broader. But do you see that? What do you think about that?
I don't think we're too divided. I feel like you already see artists in like rap and Afrobeats working together with niggas like Gunna and Ashake and Wizkid and working with Brent Faiyaz and stuff like that. Like you already see us coming together in some ways where artists are working together. But then I guess in my answer on the global level, I feel like as Africa continues for the next however many years getting stronger as it has been, and before I feel like the people who are preaching Pan-Africanism will come out of like one country or like it will come out of like a specific area. But now I feel like it's different parts of Africa coming out, strengthening their economy, strengthening their deals, like doing better stuff that could attract, for one thing, attract Black people to want to live in Africa, come to that place instead of being here, and just to wanting to do business there as well. Like I feel like I listen to Market Mondays a lot with Ian and Rashad, and they always talk about how they're looking for investment down there. They're looking for people to come down there and put money into businesses and do stuff like that. But we're almost like late to the boat because there's a bunch of different countries that are still trying to rework deals and get back into working with Africa because of how rich and resourced it is. So I feel like there obviously is going to be people who, like you said, there's always going to be people in every race that are going to get left behind, people who don't work hard, people who don't have the same kind of vision as you. But then I also do feel like you hear it in the Black community. Sometimes people talk about like, we like to gatekeep a lot of stuff. We like to hold a lot of stuff back. We don't like to. I feel like people have tried to put me on, like my friends that when I went to FAMU when I was around all Black people. I feel like I got put on with a lot of stuff that I wouldn't have got put on just going to a PWI. It was people who thought like me, who had similar experiences to me, and they wanted to share that and we were all going towards the same stuff. I don't know. I feel like it's hard to say.
Yeah. I feel like on a music end, there is a level of not knowing and ignorance that comes along with a lot of the things that we talk about, and some people aren't even open to those ideas. I've been having a lot of conversations with people recently. Like I called Ryan the other day, my friend Ryan. Shout out Ryan Hughes, my only play cousin. And we were talking about, I was like, bro, growing up, Dan Kalenga in middle school and high school,
Yeah.
Dan Kalenga was African growing up. Think about how crazy that is. But there's 54 countries in the entire continent, and we refer to him as African. We didn't even care enough and I mean, you can blame this partially on how we were brought up. You could blame this on education and just not knowing. But we were brought up to a point where we didn't even care like where his actual cultural heritage was from, what part of Africa. You know what I'm saying? I learned when I grew up. Like he's from Congo, right? Like his family. But
Yeah.
as a child, I didn't know that. And I feel like and I just use as a child because I obviously have had moments that have opened my eyes. This thing has brought me to a point of like understanding like what the diaspora really is. But the sentiment among even us in the suburbs who get a better education than most, right? We were even ignorant in that state. And it makes me feel like I don't feel like defeated or demoralized in a way, but like the amount of education required to bridge a lot of these communities, like even create connections in the same community, right? Like we talk about the third space a lot. There is no third space in a lot of Black communities. So even in Jacksonville, like I told you, I texted you and Mom this morning about the Gullah Geechee people, which were a
Yeah.
group of people in the South. Bro, I drive by this park. I'll send a picture so you could put it up. But I drive by this park every single day on the way to gym. Not every day, 7 days a week. It's 3 minutes from my house. And they got a little memorial up for a group of formerly enslaved people that they speak a form of Creole English. It's categorized as another language. And they're here in Jacksonville, in Georgia, in the Carolinas. I don't even know enough about, I'm 800 miles away from y'all. You know what I'm saying? Think about how crazy that is. We're so fragmented as Black people in our own country. We don't even have time to even consider how nuanced the Black experience is in another continent on the other side of the world. And it put my head a little bit where I was like, damn, like there's people like us tapped in, and I feel like people like us doing the things that we're doing will eventually bring more people in. You know what I'm saying? But the uphill battle that's required to even get somebody to consider listening to some other type of music, right? Like just keeping it on music, it's insane. The mix that I'm putting out this week, we're putting out 3 mixes this week, and we'll get to that later. But one of the mixes I'm putting out this week is focused on Amapiano beats with American artists on top. I finally figured out like the stems and stuff like that and making mixes that way, because I feel like the only way people here will care about something like that, there, like at least the majority, the consensus of Black people, you hear Sexy Red on an Amapiano beat, like a real you know what I'm saying? You hear fucking Yo Gotti on a, like you got to hear people that are from where you're from on that type of shit for it to make sense in your head, because you can't even get past the accent, which is sick to me. But that you got to meet people where they're at. You know what I'm saying? And then broader on a global sense, I guess from the conversation I had with Josh, like from a business standpoint, like I do think like there's no getting around the fact that like we have to do business in white America to make this thing sustainable. Like that it really fucked my head up. And I'm not gonna get too much into it on a pod. It's a music pod. But we have to do business with them. To make our community stronger, we have to do smart business with them. That's the only way to do it. But after all that, I still do believe like maybe we don't change everything, but I still believe R&R is, and to go into our next topic, I do feel like it is a form of the Black Star line. You know what I'm saying? Marcus Garvey, Pan-Africanist movement, the Black Atlantic, all that shit where it's connecting all of us. I still do believe like the potential to build this into the biggest global Black brand in the world is still there. I still believe that. But it just, I don't know, it was that conversation messed my head up and it got me to thinking about music and stuff because I still don't send a ton of like random different global music to my friends because they're not willing to listen to that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I feel yeah, a lot of people just aren't open to new things in general. So when it comes to music, especially, people like to listen to the same stuff. But I do feel like we're already seeing a shift of like artists going more towards global music because
Yeah.
we've just seen it in the numbers. We've seen it in the data. We've seen it in what artists are making, the type of stuff that the bigger artists are sitting there doing. Like we just saw Goldlink do a house type of album. I just saw a stat that said house is one of the is the
Fastest
fastest
growing on.
growing,
Yeah.
yeah, fastest growing genre in the. I don't know if it's the world or it's the U.S. right now, but it's definitely.
It
Was
was
it the world?
it
Yeah, it
was
was
it
one
was
of
the
the.
world. It was the
It
world.
was the world. Yeah, I thought it was the world, but like I definitely think we're seeing that type of shift to where it's going there to where there's that lane for there to be a connection, but like you said, there has to be different brands and people for that connection to be made, and that's why like even like I said, like Market Monday is talking about how the investment is there. Like there's obviously things that are going to be needed in Africa as it becomes a growing and growing power, but like it's just like, are we going to be able to bridge that gap? Are people going to be able to attack that?
Yeah. Yeah. I think the big takeaway I had, like, just I work in marketing and advertising. And so the shift in what I was and I'm doing outside of this was that I can't targeting only black businesses this early would is going to only stunt and stagger my growth in the
Yeah,
fields
it'll
that I'm
limit your
trying to.
scope too much.
Yeah, like I got to thinking, yo, if I just work with high ticket services like dentists or spas or whatever, like if I spent 30 days targeting those companies, would I make money? Probably yes. Probably yes. I feel pretty confident in that. But the sentiment from that is, yo, if it's good, the people that will pay for it will pay for it. And I think for this, less I feel like it's less about saying, hey, we're for black people, hey, we're Pan Africans, hey, we're trying to connect people, and just coming out with hard shit. You know what I'm saying? Like just putting out fire podcasts, just putting out fire mixes, doing fire events in communities that people want to show up to that just embodies those things. I think that's the end. Like once that happens, it's like we don't have to say we're a black company or we're a Pan Africanist company. You'll just look at our demo and see it. But I digress. I don't know. I had a somber morning after that conversation with Josh. I'll tell you more about it when we get off. But I did want to get into Chance the Rapper. He put out the Black Star line. Finally, I never thought it was coming out, but it dropped very quickly. Interesting album for sure. It was, let's see, it was 17 songs, an hour and 7 minutes. What were your thoughts on this project overall?
I thought it was pretty good. When I was listening to it the first time, I was like, it really has a good bop to it. I feel like Chance was really rapping on there. Like, of course, Chance on most of his albums, he gonna really throw you some crazy lines and throw you some crazy metaphors and stuff like that. But I feel like I heard that a lot through here. I heard him on different interviews saying it was gonna be like that. So it was definitely good to hear that. I think the song I heard in concert with Smino and Lil Wayne, it sounded a little bit better in the flow of stuff. But most of my favorite songs would probably be Gunny O Purse. I really like that with Young Thug on it. Draco Mania with Baby Chief Do It. Back to the Go with Vic Mensa was good too. And I definitely like the Negro Problem, but it was a good album. And I feel like it was one of those where he's sitting there storytelling through most of it. And it's not one of those where you're sitting there looking to get the turn up hype records, but Chance is always going to give you one or two of those with, like I said, like Gunny O Purse and then the song with Baby Chief Do It. But Baby Chief Do It is like good too.
He's
He rap well.
cold, bro. Like
Yeah.
when I texted you the other day and said he's so Chicago, like I had the album on in the background and I was just like doing chores and stuff like that, and I heard him come on. I didn't know who I didn't look at the song, I didn't know who was on it. But it's when I be down here like working or just out in public and you hear people talk, say certain things, like if a nigga say merch, you know where you're from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He said, and I was listening to the song. I'm like, I don't know who this is, but he's from Chicago. And I heard the name. I mean, and then I went and looked. I saw the name and I was like, he has to be from Chicago. Went and looked. Obviously, he is. But I would agree. I think there's some songs on here, like the highs and the lows. Like I said, to me, that is probably my favorite rap song in the last 2 to 3 years probably. That's one of my favorite rap songs ever. And then the intro and the outro, very hard. I would say overall though, the project at points just felt a little slow to me. Like towards the
Yeah,
end, especially like very slow, very much, I don't know, rapping over like gospel beats. Like you can give me a couple of those, but too many of those, you losing me. I don't know if it's because I'm in a house bag right now, but it's just too slow at some parts for me. But there were songs I liked. Like I liked Just a Drop with Jay Electronica. I liked the
yeah.
outro with Jasmine Sullivan, Speed of Love. The intros are Drape Tomia, which I found out. You know what that means? You heard about what that means?
What is it?
Drapetomia was what was the diagnosis of black people during slavery when they ran away. They didn't want to stay on the plantation and work on the plantation because they had a disease. Their mind was fucked up. So they went crazy. That's why they ran away.
Yeah,
That was the official diagnosis during slave times here in America. Drapetomia. That's what the word means. Look it up. That's some real shit. And I watched the interview with the Grits and Eggs pod. Was it DeAndre Kyle? Is his name?
yeah,
He talked about it in there. He said the song, like the beat was so hard and they was rapping so crazy on that. That's why he named it that. Is because niggas, that's the diagnosis. Niggas go crazy from running away type shit. And he went so crazy on the beat. I think that's hard. That's hard
yeah,
to me. Gun in Your Purse was decent, but yeah, I don't know. I think this was a solid. This was definitely a step up from the last project from Chance. I think it's safe to say that.
yeah. It is. It definitely is. Like the last project, it just didn't land. And I feel like one thing people have been saying is like the reason the Clips album landed so well is because it was really real and it felt like it was like to me a constructed art piece. It felt like they put a lot of time into that. And obviously sitting here listening to the album, I was sitting there thinking about how you told me you went to the session or whatever where he was showing off the album. And I had heard him talk about that in interviews too. But then thinking about that experience with this album, I could see that being like a really cool experience. And I like the way that he always has put into building up his fan base. Like even he was doing like a CD handout, I think, in Chicago or something like that. So that was pretty
Yeah.
cool. But definitely a good album. Like I said.
Yeah, shout out to the crib, bro. Shout out to Baby Chief Do It. Shout out to Chance the Rapper. You know what I'm saying? Baby Chief Do It, one of my new favorite rappers of the year. Went back, looked at the songs. Yeah, he's cold. He's cold.
Yeah.
Quickly, wanted to mention Kaytranada dropped a surprise album. This is for the house lovers. This is not for them, the fake Kaytranada fans. You know what I'm saying? Ain't
Yeah.
no damn way the album is called. Is one feature on this project, and it's TLC. It's TLC. I say if you don't like house music, you might not mess with this because a lot of these feel like these songs to people who don't listen to house music would just feel like interludes on normal albums. That's how I would describe it. But I liked it.
Yeah.
What did you think of this?
I thought it was good. I'm trying to support more of this because when I go to Lala and there's even different ones like Electric Forest and different EDM festivals that I feel like have a lot of house artists at them. I don't see the black house artists like Kaytranada and stuff like that. So I like hearing house music in general. It's good to like clean to. Like obviously it's called house music. People listen to it in the house, stuff like that. But like there's a lot of house speakeasies and stuff out here. So I would love to hear more of the black house artists because we already have artists in obviously South Africa, Amapiano doing that type of stuff. But our house in America too, there's a lot of black artists doing that. And you even see people like Skepta hopping on with artists like Fred again. So stuff like that is just I would love to see that.
It's like even you don't even have to go as far as South Africa, bro. Like house music started in Chicago.
Right.
Bro, go talk to your mama, bro. Like not even I'm not even talking about you. I'm just saying like in general, like bro, okay, I am talking about our mom. Our mom grew up when house started popping. Like when she started sneaking out the house using fake IDs, like telling granny and granddaddy like she wasn't, you know what I'm saying? She was doing that. She was going to like the original house club, like the club that people name. I gotta find it. But I remember watching a doc on how house was created. And the club that was known for house music, mom was at that 17, 18, underage. You know what I'm saying? So she can't talk to us about doing nothing crazy because she was there underage. But I'm saying that's like our DNA. That's our stuff. And like the only Ryan, I'm gonna send this to Ryan, but shout out Ryan, bro, because he's into like house, like American house now. That's what he's on. You know what I'm saying? He went to Detroit for a house festival, a couple house concerts and shit like that. And he in there with the white boys listening to the house music. And
Yeah,
I like people might think that's crazy, bro, but house is black music. Don't forget that.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
think this project for sure, like there's standouts on here for me. Honestly, the one that stood out for me outside of the TLC record, Target Joint,
yeah.
that
That
does
was
sound like a
fire.
song that would be on in Target. I'm not gonna hold you, but
Yeah,
it's hard. And then Shine Your Light for We is also hard. And the TLC record, you don't even have that's his bag. That is take an R&B vocal or hook, put it on a house beat. Kaytranada, that's his bag. You know what I'm saying? I like that he put a project out with one feature. You know what I'm saying? So shout out Kaytranada. That's all I really gotta
yeah,
say.
yeah.
Other than that, there was an EP that dropped by Mahalia called Lover Girl. She's an artist from the UK and she did like a Jamaican inspired project, 7 songs. You have Masika on there, Bayaka. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it's hard. The whole project is really hard if you are fucking with dancehall, reggae inspired music. This is a really good project. So quickly wanted to mention that. Other than that, though, like Cal Banks, there's 2 projects we're gonna come here and talk about next week. Cal Banks, the producer that we talked about on here before from TDE, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. We don't have a friend of the pod because I don't know if he watches the
Nope.
pod, but he DM'd us. You know what I'm saying? He DM'd us. He says he messes with our content. He put out a project, 25 songs. Sir is on there, Childish Mater is on there. It's a lot of people on there. I remember we was on here a year ago talking about we need a Cal Banks project and we got it. So we will dedicate a segment to that next week. And then K Camp he put out Kiss 6. Kiss 5 was a classic. Well, I don't want to say a classic. Kiss 5 was a moment for me.
Ooh, Smino.
Shawty Ice Cold, sip on a nigga. I don't know. Shawty Andrew. That's my shit. Hey, whenever a nigga going through heartbreak, a nigga gonna put out some heat. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Sir. Shout out Kiss. K Camp. You know what I'm saying? Shout out all them dudes that be getting me through a heartbreak. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna talk about K Camp when we get back. We're gonna talk about Cal Banks. But quickly, wanted to get into, bro, this is episode 100, bro. This is episode 100. You know how crazy that is? I remember when we started, we said, let's get to 100 episodes and let's see where it goes. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to lie, this 100 episodes has been a lot more difficult. And I don't know what I expected from the results of 100 episodes, but I wanted to know what you thought about just getting this far. Like, what are your thoughts on just doing this for this long?
I feel like people always talk about that stat of most people don't get past 3 podcasts. Like most people can't do anything for an extended period of time. So it is cool to sit here and look back at some of the old episodes, like looking back at even the production value of some of them, where it was like some of them were just bad. Like they were just like the coloration was bad, the audio was bad. I was trying to figure that out and just figuring out different editing tricks, like looking at episode 40 versus 80. Like I felt like that was cool. I think I don't know. It's cool for me. I feel like
Yeah.
there's a lot of things I've tried and maybe haven't stuck with, or just felt like, man, this might not be for me. But this is something that I didn't feel like that about. No matter how many followers we had or views we were getting, I still felt like it was something that I really enjoyed and that it was worth it. And then even going to like the Smino show and hearing Samara Sin talk about how long she had been rapping before she even got close to getting some views on a song, and then after that sitting there being on a Smino tour, like it stuff takes time, and I think I trade too, so like through trading I've learned that a lot too, is that stuff just takes time to mature and grow. It takes a bunch of iterations to do something correctly, and I think getting to 100 is cool, but I want to get to 300 if we can. I think it'll, in that sense of like we're just putting out content and putting out dope stuff for years, and I think that's cool to me. But did you want me to go into like specific favorite moments or?
We can get into that in a second. I want to respond to what you said. I agree. I think something for me, I was talking to, I just made the rounds. I usually just call people on Mondays. I'm not going to lie. But I called Colton earlier today, and our second most viewed episode ever on YouTube came out last week.
That was clean too.
To me, what that says is, I guess I'm gonna say this one time. I don't want to be the guy to be like, oh, at 25, your frontal lobe develops and you start. But real shit, like the last 6 months for me, I've been having a lot of different thoughts. And I think one of the things I've been thinking, especially in this last month or two, has been like I think the biggest part about like growing up and becoming an actual man, at least to me at this very moment, what I can say for myself is just taking accountability for your life, not complaining, and just doing what you say you're going to do. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I think while we've gotten to 100 and that consistency should be applauded, I have not been consistent. I have not dedicated the energy to this thing that I should have. And when I always felt like that, but the thing that really made me feel like that was like I went to my barber, my braider the other day. We had this bet that she opened her shop and has not had nobody working in it. She's been in there for 10 months. That's crazy. Paying rent on a place you're not going to have anybody work out of is nuts to me, DR. If you ever see this, I said it to your face, so I don't care. But the bet was that she wasn't going to post about hiring people within a week of my last appointment. It's been a month, right? And so I hit her 3 weeks after the fact and was like, yo, what are you talking about? You didn't do it. So I got these braids for free, by the way. Shout out at DR did it on Instagram. But I said to her, I was like, yo, stop playing with your future. Take your future seriously. And when I said that, it felt hypocritical because I haven't taken this seriously as I should have. And I've said that on here before, which is why I'm saying this is the last time I'm going to say it. You know what I'm saying? This is the last time I'm going to say it. From now on, it's just going to be action. I'm not going to keep apologizing and saying sorry and just complaining and making excuses. But I say that to say, like, the fact that our 99th episode is our second most watched episode ever. And I remember saying, yo, let's get to 100 and see. It's very encouraging. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if I actually take it serious and dedicate myself to like doing all the things that, you know what I'm saying? Posting the pod clips, taking the clips, looking at the insights, repost. Imagine if doing that could do. If 99, I guess it was 99 to get it all, you know what I mean? And so I would say, I just personally watching you, I will give you input every now and then when I see something, but you have genuinely gotten better at your craft. You know what I'm saying? You have genuinely gotten better at video editing without even me. Like I see you do certain things on certain episodes where I'm like, oh, okay, like he's looking to improve on his own, like without me saying anything, which is, you know what I'm saying? That's really cool. And I respect you for that. You know what I'm saying? As a man, like you taking the things you do seriously. So I fuck with you for that. And I would just say, I'm not going to talk about it no more. I'm going to just be about it. But it does make me very happy to see where we've come. Like, I'm probably going to go watch that first episode this week and see, bro. Because, bro, I was on Dad's back porch in 720p looking crazy.
But the funny thing is, that wasn't even the first. You remember when we was in the Chicago apartment
In
when
the
you was
first,
still at
I
Dominican? That
still
was
got,
the first one,
that's
technically.
crazy. Yo, remember, and what's
That was
crazy,
the
we
first
only have
one.
4 minutes from that up, at least visually. I don't know if the audio part is somewhere in the drive, but we still have that's what happened. That's why we didn't, like, the episode didn't come out because the video stopped working halfway
Yeah.
through. And we got done and we looked at that shit and was like, yo, what are we talking? That was 21. And then we didn't start for real until I moved here. So that was June 22.
Yeah.
Or was that June or May? Was that June 22 we start? Wait, did we start as soon as I moved here?
Pretty much. Because then I feel like we got into the 20s and 30s when I came down, which was 23.
3.
Yeah.
So we didn't start until 23. It was like May of 23 we started. I'm gonna go back and check. But yeah, we like 2 years in now, bro. And it's, to be completely transparent, like R&R has been an idea that's been in my head since 21. And we in 25. That whole 10, it makes me understand the 10-year the 10-year plan thing. Like, it takes 10 years to get on. Because
Yeah.
I've been fucking around for 4 years. I've been fucking around, but somewhat consistent for 4 years. You know what I'm saying? So it's damn like it's time to stop bullshitting. But I digress on that part. Your favorite episodes? You had a couple of them in here. What were your favorite episodes, bro?
I had 56 when we talked about Michael Jackson and Drake, just because I thought it was cool to see that now he's in a whole nother legal case and how he's dealing with all the legal stuff still,
Right.
like Mike was. So that comparison wasn't that far off when we were sitting there making it. And then I think it was 44. You asked me at the beginning, like, dang, we got like 44 when we gonna get to 100. You said that, or no, you said 50, I think. You was like, are we gonna get like a balloon and all this stuff and like all this like decorations? And I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a cookie cake. I said that last episode too, knowing I wasn't gonna get no cookie cake. Like, I just think it's funny. I was trying to get lies off like that, like as if I was actually gonna get a cookie cake.
I was gonna bring balloons in here, and I was gonna send balloons to the crib. But guess what? Yo, nobody told me Party City went out of business. Nobody told me that. I went to order off Party City. I was like, yo, what happened? And so I looked at, bro, went to 4 or 5 stores trying to see who has helium. Don't nobody got helium either. How do you get balloons anymore? But yeah. Continue. I'm sorry I cut you off. But I was gonna get the 100 balloons. That was finna be here. But like getting balloons is, bro, we in a recession.
No, that's definitely like what they be calling them, necessary work or not, or I don't even know. I can't remember what it is. Like what they were calling niggas in COVID.
Oh, but, yeah.
Whatever. So 48 was the last one I picked because that was the only in-person episode we did besides obviously that first one that we tried. And yeah, like and the thing was, it was mostly because like I'm in school, I'm trying to be lit at FAMU, so like I'm not trying to drive to Jacksonville every other weekend, and that's why we wasn't doing it. But I definitely think that was something that we didn't utilize enough because that was one of our longer episodes too, and that was I feel like that was one of our better episodes. Like I feel like that's that. I feel like that's when we started to hit a stride in a way. Like I feel like from there, to me, it's always felt consistent. Like obviously the clips is a little different. Sometimes they just weren't hitting, so it's like maybe you don't want to post what might not hit. But it's like I feel like for anybody to sit here for this long and to get to this many episodes, we have been consistent.
Yeah,
and I don't know. That's just me.
No, you're right. We have been consistent, but it's that extra 10%. It's, bro, are you doing mic and drills when you come in the gym type shit? It's not are you showing up, it's are you doing mic and drills? You know what I'm saying? Because when you get to the rim, are you gonna be able to finish? That's only for the hoopers out there. You know but you know what I'm saying. Like that's where we're at right now. We just ain't been. I haven't been doing mic and drills. You've been doing them. I ain't been doing mic and drills. I've been coming in here bullshit and just throw the sneakers on. Let's play once. That's what I've been doing. But bro, I do think that's crazy. We've only had one in-person episode. But I think what I would take from that insight wide is like when we do have the opportunity to record in person again. Because I was thinking about doing an episode. I was thinking about doing an episode 100 with Mom here. Like when y'all was here, I thought about it, but I was like, no, setup was gonna be. I didn't have setup, and we was doing all this other stuff, and I had work and stuff like that. So
I had my mic, like
I got 4 or 5 mics here, whether they're personal or I got mad mics. So it wasn't. It was just I didn't take the time to do that. But I would just say the next time we have opportunities to record in person, we record multiple episodes and we bank them potentially. Because I think that was a great episode, like you said. Personally, my favorite episodes is when I looked back. I have moments that I can think of that I don't remember the exact episodes. One of my favorite moments of all time will be stop whispering in my ear, don't ever do me like that. That was so funny. I go back and watch that clip one time a month. That was hilarious. I don't know. It's just like the clip is legendary. It'll get reposted for years to come. We're gonna post it on the page soon. But that was hilarious to me. You coming in the sleeveless shirt and shorts, which was more recently. That was hilarious to me. It was hate, but it was good hate. Episode wise, 38, Obama got 9-gallon of Sprinter. That's where we started on. We don't believe Obama is listening to these songs because he has Sprinter on the list. You know what I'm saying? That was hilarious to me. 78, making playlists for women consumption actually got me in trouble in real life. I feel like a real podcaster. I feel like a real podcaster because let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. You know those moments where podcasters say something and then they go in their real life. They're like, damn, that shit really fucked me up in real life. We put that shit out, and I had women texting me, calling me, showing up in my house, telling me how they thought they felt befuddled and confused. It was like, you didn't just make playlists for me? Oh my God. That happened. That happened. So one of my favorite episodes all time.
Bro.
And then 30, why artists don't tour Africa. I feel like that episode was like, that was one of the first moments where I felt like the conversation we were having was, okay, these are the things I want to talk about, because I feel like Africa, to a lot of people in media, feels the Africans feel like they're unheard in media, or they're not seen for real. And I feel like I got a lot. There were comments on there that were decent. I got DMs from them that was decent, but it just felt okay. We're on to something. That was the first time I felt like that with the podcast. But those 3 episodes were decent. The MJ Drake one, like you said, we were like, we're always ahead, bro. We're always ahead. We just gotta stay on the dot. You know what I'm saying? Because that episode was really good. It's our most watched episode. The Prince one was also good. The Prince episode was also good, which was around that time. And then I think Drake's Betting Goat. I liked that intro, bro.
Yeah,
I say all the time, I love when you bring topics to the pod, but bro, you're super creative, and like when you do bring, sometimes you just hit one where it's like, bro, that was fire, that was hard. As that was also one of my favorites. But I guess not to get too sappy, bro, but like I always said, if anything, like I get to at least talk to you for like once a week about some shit that we used to talk about music just on a cuff. It didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that we get to document it, and bro, think about this. Like your kids are going to be able to see you like diss Gunna, or like this fucking little baby. Like they're gonna be like, no, like real shit, like real shit, bigger than like how many views we get, how far we take this, how big it is. It's, bro, imagine if you could, like, Dad used to talk about this story of like when he photocopied the tickets to the party and he sold 500 tickets. I used to talk about, imagine if you could see him and his homie talking about that shit like at 23 or 25 or whatever. Like that would be so cool. Like we've documented, like, bro, I've been in London, I've been traveling, you know what I'm saying? Like we've documented 2 years of like progression. Think about where you were 2 years ago versus now. I think bigger than like the views and like growing the brand, like it's been dope to, I guess, keep this connection. Like at least sometimes we got shit going on in the week. Sometimes we don't talk every day, but like we got to record a pod. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I definitely feel you on that. I always think about the whole, like, people say you shouldn't work with your family, but I wouldn't want to do a pod with nobody but my brother.
Bro, it's because some of y'all out there are slime balls, nigga. Some of y'all out there don't have good family. Some of y'all out there are just sleazy. But like, I will say the thing I like, I thank Dad for 2 things the most. Like I got into an argument with a woman the other day about like telling your kids, like forbidding your kids from doing certain things, or like banning them from doing certain things. You might have had a different experience with Dad, obviously, but for me, the thing that I loved the most about what Dad taught me was that, like, I felt like he wanted to raise like a real individual, like a self-sustaining person that could take care of themselves and that had their own thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was a kid, I would talk to Dad sometimes, and sometimes he wouldn't respond. He wouldn't have conversation with me. You know what I'm saying? And I would think he wasn't listening to me. And then an hour later or 3 days later, he would mention something that I said on a diatribe 4 days ago. You know what I'm saying? It was like, oh shit, you remember that? You were listening? You know what I'm saying? He would do this thing where you talk to him and he wouldn't respond sometimes. And like when he would bring up some stuff I said 17 days ago in the middle of 4 other thoughts, it's, oh, so you heard everything I said. But that was him trying to let us become individuals and real people. And the most trouble I ever got in was like fucking with you. And his, like, he was so like dead serious about, you don't treat nobody better than your brother. And I didn't get that. I didn't get that until I got I understood it because it's like we blood and shit like that. But I didn't get it till I got in the real world and you start seeing people, maybe friends you thought was super close, like you start going apart from, or they might snake you, or you start falling out with mad motherfuckers. And it's, bro, like you don't really know what you're going to expect from people out in the world.
Yeah.
And you can't really, I look at everything I get from people I call close as a net. It's like, it's a bonus. It's a positive, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, if they slime you out or they do some bullshit, you can't be mad about it. And you can't be like, damn, I didn't expect that shit to happen, because that's the world. But I do feel like I know one person got my back. And I don't really ever gotta think about that shit. Like there's never any time where I'm like, oh, I can't tell Tonio this, or Tonio don't got my back if I do this. You know what I'm saying? I know, like, there's one person in this world I could definitely depend on, and it's you. Not to be all savvy, no Diddy, but
No Diddy for that. Yeah, bro.
yeah, I had a nigga say no Diddy to me the other day at Best Buy, bro. He
I didn't know
said,
niggas was actually saying that.
neither did I. He was a cool dude. I think I might have made a friend at Best Buy, bro. Like he was there. He didn't work there, but he was coming in, and bro said, "No Diddy, I like your braids." And I was like, "Oh!" And we got into a deep conversation. And bro, you know how crazy it is. Bro, I was like, "Bro said no Diddy in real life, but all right, I'll fuck with it for a second." But he had these long
Oh,
locks. What?
yeah.
Oh no, you said no. I thought you was about to say something, but he had these
Nah.
long locks, and he talked about he worked for the government. Crazy enough, I didn't know black people work for the government like that, but he worked for the government. And he said the reason I started growing out my hair because people started telling me like you can't work in like professional fields with like dreads, and most people with dreads are doing crimes out here, shooting the bookies up. And I was like, that's kind of why I started growing my hair. So when he said that to me, it was like, dang, like we think the same. But we supposed to work out this week, bro. Men only want to make friends through playing basketball and working out. And so
Yeah.
I think I might have made a friend. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to bro. Shout out to Lil Keith.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna say that. Let's get to songs of the week. Let's get to songs of the week.
No Diddy. Yo, let's do it. Yo, we bringing No Diddy back before we get the songs of the week, bro.
We're not.
Okay.
That's not something we keep in our vocabulary. I hate that. Don't
All
even
right,
say
you
that.
go first. You go first.
Okay. My two, I'm gonna be quick. Standing on Business, Babyface Ray and Lucky. Babyface Ray dropped the album too. I didn't listen to the whole thing.
Oh,
I
he
just went
did?
to, yeah, he did.
Okay.
But standout tracks, I just went there. There's a couple good ones. And then Juicy J had dropped the album a couple weeks ago. Might have just been like 2 weeks ago. But Payback is a bitch. We're at the end of the episode anyways. Payback is a bitch by him and Wiz Khalifa. Good song. I think that's Unk music and showed me that I was fucking with the Unk music. And then he put
Codeine.
out a jazz album too, so I gotta listen to that.
Oh, Juicy J. Yeah.
Yeah.
Codeine Cowboy is a crazy name for an album. We gonna come in here. Some of the topics we about to get super focused in on certain regions in the world. We coming in here to talk about how unlinear the Midwest raps. We gonna come in here and do it because I think it was Rio and somebody else. I saw them freestyling on Twitch. Did you see this video? It was Rio and
RMC Mike.
RMC Mike. That was some
Yeah.
Detroit ass rapping, and I fuck with it. Yo, I'm from the crib. I'm a Midwest nigga. I don't care what niggas say. But Codeine Cowboy by Babyface Ray is a crazy album title. That's all I'll say. My songs for the week. Chief Keef put out a song with Mustard called Shake
Crazy.
That. You heard this? Baby girl,
Crazy.
shake that. I was like, oh, wait. Chief Keef got another wave coming? That's how I felt when I heard this song. This song is hard. We're going to talk about that. And then I would say, we're going to shout out Baby Chief Do It. You know what I'm saying? The Viper. Baby Chief Do It. That song is hard. That song is hard. So
very hard, bro.
go check this out. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot going on right now. That's really all I got to say. We got a lot going on. And when we put out the Odu Modu block Baby Chief collab in 4 years, you know what I'm saying? When we put out bro, I'm telling you, and just to end it, we're gonna have the craziest collabs. We're gonna put fucking Kaytranada with RMC Mike and motherfucking Davido or some shit. We go get some crazy shit. Who are these niggas? That's what's coming. That's what's coming. So all I gotta say is, yo, tap in. Shout out No Sweetie, but tap in and stay with us till episode 200. Thank you for getting this far. If you got this far, you know what I'm saying? We'll see
Yeah,
y'all
let
next
us know
week.
what episode you started watching in the comments.
That would be great. Yeah, if you started watching us and kept watching us, let us know when you started watching and what was your favorite episode. That would be great. You know what I'm saying?
Let us know, bro.
All right, man. We'll see y'all next week.
See y'all later.